how much more embarrassing do you guys think that this Cardinals organization can get? Because they hit another low today. Welcome back to Cardinals Daily. I'm the angry Cardinals fan, Eddie Law. Hit that sub, tap that bell, send that like, leave a comment. Here we go. Our very own JG, Jonathan Gannon, is $100K lighter in the pocket up there. Arizona Cardinals find him. So Gannon gets fined $100,000, right? We know what it's for, right? For barking at Mario Mercado on the sideline after that boneheaded premature celebration against the Titans. And I'll say it. It's the moment that exposed everything wrong with this Cardinals team right now. Let's be real. That play was brutal, all right? Mercado's about to take it 72 yards to the house. The crowd's already erupting. It's about to explode. And then he drops the ball before the goal line. Touchdown erase, touchback, ball game flipped. And of course, we know how that ended. Then there's Gannon, losing his mind on the sideline, face to face, yelling, slapping shoulder pads like he's trying to restart the guy's focus. The cameras caught everything. That's right. There wasn't frustration. There wasn't just frustration, of course. That was a coach cracking under pressure, all right? A coach who's lost 3 in a row, whose offense looks stale, whose locker room might be teetering. Now the team hits him with a $100K fine, and look, you don't find your head coach unless you're trying to send a message. And the message is not to him. It's to everybody. It's a team's way of saying, we saw that, and it's not who we want to be. And yes, even the boss gets held accountable. But let's not act like this doesn't come with baggage. You can talk about accountability all you want. But when your own coach loses his composure on the sideline, it undercuts the culture you're trying to build. That players see that, fans damn sure see that, and the league absolutely sees that. The fine isn't the problems. The problem? The optics. The Cardinals are 2-3 fresh off another collapse, and the one viral clip that's going around all over social media and defines your week is your head coach screaming at a third string running back. That's not leadership. That's frustration boiling over. It's starting to feel like Gannon's message just isn't landing the way it used to. When the emotional stability guy becomes the emotional meltdown, you have a perception problem. So, look, credit where it's due, in a way. Gannon owned it, or at least he was forced to own it. He apologized to Mercado, apologized to the team, and that's fine, but apologies don't fix vibes. Winning does. The locker room doesn't need another speech. It needs results. And if the Cardinals are going to come out flat next week, this isn't going to go away, right? Because now every camera is going to be watching that sideline like a hawk, waiting for another eruption. You guys remember when Travis Kelce bumped into Big Red, Andy Reid? In the sideline, what camera? Look, we already know the camera's always on Travis Kelce because of, who he's gonna marry soon. But after that, it was like zoomed in telephoto lens on Travis Kelce's face. Every time he looked upset, we were just like, is he going to Andy? Is he going to Andy? That's what they were doing. So yeah, 100K fine, lesson learned, apology accepted. But make no mistake, this marks the end of the honeymoon for Jonathan Gannon in Arizona. This team was supposed to be disciplined, focused, gritty. Instead, it's starting to look undisciplined, frustrated, and fragile. And if Gannon doesn't reel it in now and get this locker room back on track, that fine won't be the headline. His job will be. The Cardinals don't need sideline fire, they need wins. Until then, this whole thing's starting to look like another year of same old Cardinals. Now, my biggest problem with Gannon blowing up at Mercado, he ain't done that to Kyler Murray, who makes millions of dollars and is a star player, in a way, I guess. He ain't done it to Drew Petzing. He didn't get in his face after all the awful calls that guy made. Nothing. He got in the face of a third string running back whose career and livelihood is literally in his fingertips. That is some coward garbage right there. Okay? That's like picking on the smallest guy in the room because the other guy's a little bigger than you. That's what that was. He could have done it a number of times this season already, and he didn't. He did it to that dude, the third string running back that barely made the team. That is not a head coach. That is a small man worried about his job, his job security, his title, whatever you want to call it. He's scared now. And now the entire team knows it. And you know what goes out the window with that? Any kind of respect that they had for him. All right, they're all going to say that the right things in the media. They're going to post the right things. They're going to answer the questions the right way. But don't get it twisted. We know what's going on in that locker room. He's losing it. He's losing it fast. He has this week to figure it out. Or I'm telling you right now, it's over for Jonathan Gannon. That's what I'm saying. And the one guy that's definitely dragging him down so badly, Drew Petzing. He ain't yell at his face. What happened against Tennessee was not a fluke. It wasn't a learning moment. And it definitely wasn't bad luck. That was coaching malpractice, all right? The Arizona Cardinals flat out handed the Titans that game, and the two people most responsible, Petzing and Gannon. Forget the final score. This was the week the Cardinals showed us exactly why there's still a punchline in the NFL. It all started with the Mario Mercado's highlight turn horror show. We know that. 72 yards to the end zone. He just had to pass across the line with the ball. Instead, celebrates too early, all right? Could not script it worse if you tried. That's Pop Warner level stuff, sure. Players make mistakes. People make mistakes. But the lack of focus, lack of discipline, that's on coaching. You can see it immediately. Jonathan Gannon loses his cool, goes facing Victor Mercado, slaps his shoulder pad, storms off, boom, viral moment. Now Gannon's getting fined $100K by the team, apologizing to everybody, and we're talking about that instead of the game coming up, or even the game that just happened. The message is supposed to be discipline and accountability. Instead, it's chaos on camera. And if that wasn't bad enough, let's talk about the most cowardly call of the season. 3rd and 8, game on the line. You got Kyler Murray, your $230 million franchise quarterback, standing right there. And offensive coordinator Petzing decides to run the ball, not a trick play, not a roll, not a play action, a straight handoff into a wall. And when asked about it later, he admits he didn't like the call. He said, quote, "I didn't love it. I put our guys in a tough spot," end quote. Then why the hell did you call it? Why didn't you trust your quarterback that can throw and run? You can't preach aggression and go win the game energy all offseason and then turtle up with a chance to finish. That's the difference between good teams and the Cardinals. Winners close, losers play scared. And here's the real kicker. Kyler couldn't even check out of the play. Petzing said it himself, quote, "Certain plays don't have checks, motions, and shifts make it tough to audible," end quote. So let me get this straight. You have the number one overall pick. At this point, a veteran franchise quarterback in crunch time, you're running plays where he has zero control to change out of a bad look. Are you kidding me? That's insane. That's some wow. If you don't trust Kyler to make decisions, then why the hell is he on the field? Put Brissett in there. If he's healthy enough to play, he's healthy enough to lead, right? Either guy at this point. Otherwise, you're paying $46 million a year for a handoff, for a 5'10" handoff machine. And just when you think it couldn't get dumber, it somehow does. Marvin Harrison Jr., your superstar wideout, or on his way to it at least, starting to play like it. Your number 4 overall pick from last year, 79 yards in the first quarter, really. He's cooking. Then you basically forget he exists. 2 targets the rest of the game? Petzing says all the right things. Gotta get in the ball more. But we've heard that before, every single week. Every single week this season, we've heard the same garbage. Through 5 weeks, Harrison's target share ranks 104th in the league. Let that sink in. Your wide receiver 1, 104th on a team that's supposed to be slinging that ball, especially with James Conner out for the season. You drafted him and then use him like a decoy. Why? For who? For DeMercado? For Michael Carter? That's not just poor game planning. It's offensive malpractice. That game was the perfect snapshot of what's wrong with this team. You got talent, you got flashes, you got potential, but every week it's the same damn thing. Undisciplined, uninspired, unprepared. DeMercado's fumble, lack of focus, and a little bit of immaturity. Petzing's 3rd down call, fear, scared. The Harrison disappearing act, incompetence by Petzing. And the worst part, getting at Petzing is supposed to be the guys to fix his culture. Are you kidding me right now? Instead, they're the reason it's unraveling. So here's a hot take. And this wasn't just a bad loss. That was the kind of loss that exposes who you are. Right now, Cardinals are exactly what everyone thinks they are. A team that can't get out of its own way. The Cardinals didn't lose to the Titans. They lost to themselves. And until their staff learns how to trust their stars to lead with composure, or at least give them a chance, it's not going to matter how talented the roster gets. It's just going to be bad the rest of the way. Straight up. All right? Let's talk. Let's talk this weekend because this is gonna be something. Cardinals at Colts. This is a hot take in a way, so just hang on here because I've been losing my mind since the game ended on Sunday. So here we go. The Cardinals are heading towards Indianapolis, taking the Colts. Away game. Luckily for us, we don't have to sit there and deal with this crap in person. At least season ticket holders that go to every game, but. Or anybody that goes to the game, really. Even at home. I hate watching garbage at home. That's terrible. Even on TV, you know what I mean? But anyway, somehow, Daniel Jones is now their quarterback. Daniel freaking Jones is tuning up for the Colts. And let me just say this right now. If the Cardinals lose this game to Daniel Jones, this entire coaching staff deserves whatever smoke comes their way. Because this isn't just a get-right game. This is a must-win for Gannon and Petzing specifically. The Cardinals are they're sitting at 2-3. But it feels like a whole lot worse than that. It really does. Like deep in your gut. This feels like we're 0-ing everything. We might as well be 0-5 right now, right? The fumble, the $100K fine, Drew Petzing calling a run on 3rd and 8, which by the way wasn't the first time he did it all this season. He's done it at least a handful of times every freaking week. The whole operation looks shaky. Now you're going to go on the road against the Colts team led by Daniel Jones, a quarterback the Giants literally paid $160 million to hand off and throw checkdowns. If you can't beat this team, you're not just losing games, you're losing credibility. This matchup is tailor-made for the Cardinals to bounce back. And the Colts are banged up. They're inconsistent. And Jones looks like a guy fighting for his career every single week. You got to take advantage. Now, look, Daniel Jones has looked all right with the Colts. Let's be real, okay? Through 5 games, he's got over 1,000 yards passing, I think, over 1,000 yards passing, and 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not terrible, but it's still Daniel friggin' Jones. We saw him play in New York. Let's just, let's keep that in mind. But let's be honest, this is not about Daniel Jones at all. This is about Kyler Murray finally putting a team on his back. And he's dealing with that foot injury from last week, but if he's on the field, he's got to take over. Enough of these conservative play calls. Enough of this, we don't want to be predictable talk for Petsing, because predictability is not the problem. Execution is, right? And honestly, we're being pretty damn predictable at this point. You got a franchise quarterback who can make plays 90% of the league can't. Yet you're handcuffing him with run plays on 3rd and long. And I understand people are going to be saying, oh, Kyler's been trashed, this and that and the other. You still have a young quarterback who can still make plays with his feet, his legs, and his arm. He's still that guy. He might not be doing it at a high level. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's the handcuffs that are on him. Who knows? Maybe you let him rip it. Just get out there and let it rip. He'll do something. You drafted Harrison Jr. to change the offense, and somehow he's disappearing by halftime every week. That's not Kyler's fault. That's bad coaching. This week, Petsy either fixes it or we start counting down to his job. This is not, his seat is on fire right now. Gannon's is starting up. Speaking of Harrison, by the way, this is the week to unleash him. He's playing in Indianapolis, the same city where his father became a Hall of Famer. He's been practically begging to be more involved. Through 5 weeks, he's 104th in that target rate we were talking about. That's not a typo. That's not a blunder. That's legit. You don't get him on this team to be a role player. You feed him. Hell, you force feed the guy. You build the offense around him. If he doesn't see double-digit target this week, malpractice. Okay? And honestly, if Petsy can't figure out how to design an offense that highlights his best players, maybe it's time to find someone that can. And that's on Gannon. Gannon's got to figure this out. Now, for all the chaos, there's still a game to play. So the matchups are going to be interesting here. So one of the matchups in my mind, Cardinals front 7 on the defensive end against the Colts O-line. The Colts protection has been shaky, and Daniel Jones falls under pressure faster than a lawn chair in a windstorm. You get to him early, you control the game, period. The other one, Kyler Murray versus the Colts defensive zone. Their defense, they love to sit back and make quarterbacks stay patient, but this is where Kyler can kill them. Quick passes, tempo, rhythm throws, and if the Cardinals stay aggressive, they'll move the ball all day. We did plenty of it against the Titans in the first half. Another one, and this is probably the one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on quite a bit here. Trey McBride versus that Colt linebacker core. Don't sleep on McBride. He's quietly becoming the Cardinals safety valve. Matter of fact, not even quiet. He's loud as hell being the safety valve. And if Indy sells out to take the ball from Harrison or double him, like for some reason everyone has been doing, even though we haven't been getting him the ball, makes no sense. But McBride's going to be that reliable 7 to 10 yard weapon to move the chains on Sunday. Here is where the game is going to be won or lost. This game will say everything about the Cardinals, right? About who they are. If we come out flat, again, in second half, even if we have a decent first half, if they commit the same boneheaded mistakes, Kyler's handcuffed and Harrison's ignored again, then it's time to stop calling this a rebuild and start calling it what it is, a failure in leadership. Jonathan Gannon talks all the time about standards and accountability. Well, let's see it. Beat a team you're supposed to beat. Handle business. Look competent for 4 quarters. Because if the Cardinals lose to Daniel Jones, a quarterback who's allergic to confidence, this isn't just a bad loss. It's a red flag for the entire Gannon era. My prediction, and look, Vegas already has us down on this one. We're the underdogs on this one, right? They're done putting us as favorites, obviously. So we're the underdogs. So my mind, we should beat this team. It's still Daniel Jones. I know he's been better this season, right? And I think he had one really crappy game and whatever, but outside of that, he's been pretty good. But my prediction, Cardinals 27, Colts 17. But if they find a way to blow this one, expect the post-game pressers to be spicy because the excuse is going to be officially out of stock. The Cardinals don't just need a win. They need to prove they can act like a functional football team. Because if you can't beat Daniel Jones, you're not unlucky, you're broken. Bottom line, this game on Sunday, to me, it's the season, right? It's going to tell us whether we should have hope or we should start going, all right, what draft pick are we going to have? Who's out there? Do we trade Kyler? Can we fire Pedzing, or do we have to fire both of them? Can we fire both of them already? Who do we get? Because those are questions that are going to come if we lose this game, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. If you guys saw the other day when they announced the new practice facility for the Cardinals up in North Phoenix, Kyler Murray said, I'm hoping here to see it. That's a man that knows his days are likely numbered in this team. It's not hard to figure that out. It's really easy to see it. And Kyler Murray's not stupid. For as everyone wants to make jokes about the Call of Duty thing, and he's this and he's that, whatever, this, that, and the other. It's still, he's not dumb. He can see it, and we can all see it. We lose this game, we're gonna start talking about who's next. We win this game, like, all right, do it again, and do it again, and do it again, because you're gonna have to in order to keep the fan base from not showing up to games. Everyone complains, myself included, I'm not gonna lie. Everyone complains about season ticket holders selling their tickets to away fans. If you don't think, especially depending on what happens this weekend against the Colts, if you don't think if we really, even if we win, if we barely beat them, or we look awful doing it, or we just get super lucky, if you don't think that stadium, State Farm Stadium, the following Sunday, October 19th, isn't going to be a giant go pack, go stupid chant thing that they do, you don't think that's going to be filled to that? It's not going to be a red stadium at all. It's going to be green. We win this game like we're supposed to. We put on a really good performance like we should. Maybe that changes. Maybe that doesn't happen. Not going to hold my breath though, because Petzing's still the offensive coordinator, and Gannon is gutless. Plain and simple. A gutless, fake, tough guy. And I'm done. Done with him. So, in my mind, no matter what happens this season, they both got to go. You know, unless we do some crazy, miraculous win out and go to the playoffs, at least go to the playoffs, I don't see a way that Gannon can save his job outside of Michael Bidwell being the cheap ass that he is. Bottom line. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me today. Ooh, the graphics got messed up. Here we go. That's going to do it for this episode of Cardinals Daily, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie Law. Don't forget to hit that sub, hit that bell, hit that like, leave a comment. Friday is comment day, so just keep piling them on. I'll get them all together on Friday. We'll go over all the comments of the week, making a nice long segment there for you guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Go Cardinals.